6 months ago, Sage Steele got punished from ESPN because they made it clear once again, as much as they claim to respect women, as much as they say they want to uplift black voices, when you have an opinion that doesn't fit in the woke echo chamber, you will be punished at ESPN and at Disney. And now Sage Steele is fighting back. Sage Steele sues ESPN for violating her free speech rights. And this goes all the way back to an appearance, I think this is October, on Jay Cutler's podcast, where she basically said that, she doesn't agree with mandating the jab for employers, that she thinks there's something wrong with that. And there's a lot of people, including herself, that have done that to try to save their jobs and keep their jobs. Well, that is a no-no. You can talk about police brutality. You can talk about Biden and Trump. You can talk about politics. You can push the vaccine. You do all this stuff on ESPN. But if you have any comment that falls outside of the approved narrative, all of a sudden you get suspended. You get pulled off these big sports centers, everything. She got punished for this, and now she's suing them.
And she should be. The way she's been treated, and this is exactly what we're seeing a lot of on Twitter, and now you have conservative voices now are actually getting more traction. If you are a conservative, if you have conservative values or opinions, if you don't line up with the narrative, your identity means nothing. And that's truly how the world is anyway. Your identity doesn't mean anything. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make you who you are, even though the woke crowd wants to pretend that that's the only thing that matters in life. It's the only thing that matters in life if they can build a narrative around it. But the moment they can't, then it means nothing. And the way she's been treated and disrespected, because she's actually really good at what she does. I've always liked Sage Steele. I've always thought she just had a really good, screen presence, knowledgeable, well-spoken. But they've treated her like shit, all because she doesn't line up with the narrative, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. And John, I know you guys talked about this when it happened as well, but the fact that we finally have someone standing up and actually taking them to court over this, basically saying that she's being treated unequal. All the rest of her peers are able to say whatever they want, no problems, They don't get punished. But as soon as she has an opinion like this, there's ramifications for her.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark did not show up for work, and ESPN did nothing. Nothing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I worked a regular job, if I didn't show up for work, I'd probably get written up, and most likely I would have got fired. Ryan Clark is still at ESPN right now. That's the hypocrisy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan Clark's a piece of shit, by the way. He is such a piece of garbage.
Ryan Clark refused. That's in this lawsuit. Ryan Clark, after this happened, refused to go on the noon sports center with Sage Steele unless they replaced her. And they didn't have time to replace her. So they said no. And he just didn't show up to the segment. And faced zero ramifications for this. It's just nuts.
Well, now, so what is her, is she, so what, how the lawsuit, she just filed it? Is that the deal with it?
A couple days ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess now we're just going to have to see how this all plays out. But has ESPN done any kind of politically correct response to it? Have they addressed it at all publicly?
Sage remains a valued contributor on some of ESPN's highest profile content, including the recent Masters telecast and anchoring our noon sports center. It's basically all that they said. So I'm sure they don't want discovery. I'm sure that ESPN doesn't want discovery of all these different emails out there from a lawsuit like this. We saw Project Veritas. That happened a couple months ago when they showed that normal employees at ESPN are scared of voicing their opinions if they're not far extreme left-wing opinions. Yeah. So I really hope, I don't know if Sage Steele is specifically going to be able to do anything for her. But I do think it could have an impact on ESPN and exposing some of the stuff that goes on there.
Yeah.
Well, look what they did. Look what ESPN did. And of course, ESPN is a Walt Disney, part of Walt Disney Company. Look what they did with the parental rights bill. They went on television and lied. I wish that the state of Florida could actually sue ESPN and Disney for defamation for spreading lies out there about that. And I know this Sage Steele thing actually happened before, but it all ties back in together to Disney.
Well, I just think it'll be interesting to see how she's treated moving forward once this is all behind them. Because they've always treated her like shit, in my opinion. They've always frowned upon her. and this is only going to make it worse. So they obviously want to get rid of her in some way, shape, or form, but I don't know if that's going to be possible for them. So I like seeing them in a bind like that.
And maybe she did this to prevent them from firing her. You know what I mean? Like with the realization that they want her out, that she's going to try to be pushed out. Maybe she did this preemptively so they can't. So like if they tried to fire her now, it'd be a big deal. And I mean, Johnny, I know you know from what ESPN has become in its basketball shows over the years, it's just become increasingly political. Imagine if, like, I don't know, JJ Redick went on there and was like, hey, I think we should make America great again. I don't think there's any problems with that. Like what the reaction would be.
Well, yeah, I was going to bring that up almost a second ago. Is I don't watch First Take and I watch Undisputed as much as I used to, which used to be all the freaking time. Like back when it was cold pizza and stuff like that, I watched that all the freaking time.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like every single time I tune in now, there's some sort of angle where it's like, oh, Kyrie Irving's selfish, and that's why they lost this time. You know, it's like you could just tell that that's the environment because all of them have that same take, and it's like, and you're just ridiculed if you have any other take. One of the people on ESPN who's actually, you know, has given a little bit of pushback on related to the vaccination type topic would be Jason Williams. You know, he's given a little bit of pushback to it, but like every time he does, man, they shut him down. And you can tell he doesn't really come out swinging. He'll just like, it's more like he asks questions to try to like, he's gently trying to be like, let's be a little contrarian, but he does it so gently. And then when they just shut him down, he doesn't really come back swinging after that.
Jay Williams, all Jay did was like be like, well, I mean, just coming from Kyrie's perspective, though, like, what about this? And Stephen A. Smith lost his fucking mind.